This is a tough video for me because Peter David was so inspirational, and I've probably read more Peter David work than any other writer out there, just because of his long history. I'm going to go over some of it in his bibliography and stuff that a lot of people don't even know about because he was so prolific. He was one of the hardest workers out there. Hilarious. I'd say what he was best known for was his dialogue, his wit, his banter that he did very, very well. Gosh, this is just tragic news. And we've covered kind of like what led to this over every step of the way. And there's a warning for artists out there and for people, just like how these corporations chew people up and spit them out. Marvel Comics or Disney, Warner Brothers, DC, Paramount, and Star Trek. He's done more work for all of these companies than probably anybody else out there. And yet he was spending his last days destitute, having problems, unable to pay medical bills, denied for Medicaid, with zero help from any of these companies that he really built the brand so well. I mean, it just makes me really, really mad. I'm dealing with a lot of emotions on this right now, but as I think about it, so I don't know. I'm going to be a little scatterbrained, but I'm going to try to collect my thoughts on all of this and present it, hopefully a memorial that's nice for Peter David here, who did some great work. So guys, hit the like and subscribe button and join us as we talk about things here. I'm an author myself, and if you enjoy Peter David's work, I think you'll enjoy my stuff, especially the Valiant Frontiers series I'm working on right now. It's a starship exploration deal. Nothing's out right now, but I do want you to sign up for my newsletter because as much as I'm going to go off on corporate and all that, these algorithms are very bad too. I lose people left and right because you might have a video show up, it might never see you again. This way I can stay in contact with you. We have to build like a new internet these days that isn't algorithm dependent. And so get on here, you get 3 free books from me. You get a superhero book, you get a science fiction book, and a fantasy book, and those are 3 genres Peter David wrote all in. So if you like any of those, I'm very prolific as well. I'm trying to model my career after some of Peter David's work here, except for, obviously I'm not going to be working for any of those companies. We're trying to do it all independently, which is important. That's the way to go through things forward. So sign up here. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for getting into this as we get into the news today. So it got announced. Keith R.A. DeCandido. I can't pronounce names. Another great writer from Star Trek fame and the like. Does a lot of tie-in work, and really love this guy's work too. Just posted this about an hour ago. Just got the news that Peter David finally lost his rather lengthy battle with his failing physical form last night. I first met Peter 35 years ago when he appeared on the Chronic Rift public access show. And over 3.5 decades, he's been a respected creator, good friend, valued colleague, and generally wonderful person. I have a lot to say about him, but right now I'm just sad that I won't get to enjoy his delightfully smart and funny presence ever again. I'm also thinking of his wife, Kathleen Shea O'David, his daughters, Ariel, Shauna, Gwen, and Caroline. The picture with this post is one of my favorites. Peter and Kath's wedding, May 2001. Peter with his best man, the late, great Harlan Ellison. A picture that Peter said perfectly summed up his and Harlan's friendship, with Peter as Daffy Duck to Harlan's Bugs Bunny. Rest in peace, my friend. And so, yes, like I said, Peter David worked a lot in various forums for science fiction, and worked with Harlan Ellison. Lots of cool stuff. Amazing career. And I got to meet him back in, what year was it? I would imagine, when did I go to Dragon Con? I think it was 2008, maybe. And he had a table set up there, and there was no line or anything like that. I went up and I'd read a bunch of his Star Trek novels and his Babylon 5 novels and his comics, of course. And I saw that he had a book out, which was Royals. Which book was this called? This was called, am I going to be able to find it? I don't even remember. There it is, the Camelot Papers. And he was selling this and selling proof copies, like his original first ones right there, which was like turning Camelot into like this scandalous Royals tabloid sort of thing as a story. Very cute and funny concept, hilarious, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And the thing is, I just noticed people weren't really caring, and it's and this drives me crazy when you see this stuff. If you like an author's work, if you like what he's done on Incredible Hulk or X Factor or Star Trek, you're going to love what he does in something like this. It's very obvious. So I picked it up. I talked with him and his wife, just, hilarious, wonderful people, like Keith said. And, that's the only time I got to meet him. But yes, he's been doing a bunch on the independent side as well, which doesn't really get talked about because he is mostly known for his corporate work. And so he worked for Marvel and DC Comics, like I said, for a long time, did incredible runs. Aquaman, did X Factor, Hulk, Spider-Man. We've got his bibliography right here. He's got a ton of stuff in comics. Dreadstar, wow, I didn't even know he worked on that. Of course, look at this. The Avengers, Captain Marvel, Fantastic Four, Supergirl was a big one for me that he did a very, very long run that was very, very unique. And it's not what you think of with Supergirl, but you can see how much work he did. Young Justice was another fantastic one at DC Comics. But again, what happens with these, and you go back to his novels, you see that he has Fable, he has Halo, he has Star Trek, he has Spider-Man novels, Babylon 5 novels. I mean, crazy stuff. If you just look at this list, it's like, whoa, how did somebody write this many books? It's incredible. And how much work he did for these corporations. Here's the dirty little secret about what you do when you get hired. You might be working on a script for Incredible Hulk, and you might be working on 1 to 2 scripts per month, right? And so think about what you need to live as a person. These people might have hundreds of thousands of readers, but back then in the 80s and all that, you'd probably get paid like $50 a page. So you do 22 pages on that, you'll make about $1,000, and that's it. You're not going to get royalties off of it. You're not going to get anything like that. And page rates haven't gone up much in the comic industry, if at all, in recent years or anything like that. You might have $100 now if you're a Peter David. And so if you're looking at this on a script level and you're doing 1 or 2 per month, you're barely making the rent at that point. For one of these novels, these tie-in novels over the years have paid, usually between $2,000 and $10,000 as an advance, and then you might get some royalties on the back end if it pays out, which most of them don't after that. And so you might spend 2-3 months working on a novel for $2,000, $5,000. And so this is Peter David's life where he's done this much work for this many corporations, and they've just, they rake in profits off of him. I mean, how many times have they resold the Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man 2000, the omnibus version, the Epic Collection version? And it's like, what's he really getting from that? Not much. He might get some, review copies, right? And so they really chew you up and spit you out of these corporations. These people, everybody at these big companies from, back in the day with the creators of Superman, right? They had to sue DC Comics with their families. Steve Ditko, the creator of Spider-Man, had to sue Marvel Comics because they don't make anything. And so that led to a lot of complications in recent years because Peter David had massive medical problems. He was suffering kidney failure, kidney disease, was doing dialysis. And when you're a freelancer, again, it's not like you get medical coverage, right? It's not like Disney steps up and goes, you know what, Peter David's been our longtime creator. We're going to put him on the roll for our health insurance. Nope, that does not happen, right? And so, all these years, he doesn't really make a ton off this stuff. These guys don't get rich off this stuff. Disney does. Warner Brothers does. And what happens? So he's, got no medical insurance. He's got big health problems in his 60s, and that just lasts. And there was a period where it was so bad for him, and the pain was so bad for him. And I've been, like I said, I really follow what's going on here. That he, couldn't even write for a few years there. He had massive problems. Was on death's doorstep a few times in these last few years, and it's been heartbreaking to watch this. And earlier this year, I guess that's January, he was posting a GoFundMe, of course, saying that there was, Medicaid problems. Medicaid even had run out. He'd used too much of it on long-term disability, and they're denying him at this point because he's kind of used his allotted share. And, our stupid healthcare system is so screwed up. Don't even get me started on that. But that's the way it is here in America now. And without some sort of help, background, corporate sort of thing helping you on this with insurance like that, you've got nothing. And it's really, really sad that he had to reach out to fans to, like, have fans just contribute, rather than Disney stepping up and being like, you know what, we're going to help out here and like try to get you back to health. I mean, really just horrific treatment by these corporations who just go dark and go silent in these sort of hours of need and all that. So that's what happened over these last few years, and that's what a lot of people don't know about right now, as it's now just coming out that Peter David has passed away. And so, like I said, he did so much work. Look at all this. Alien Nation, you probably even forgot that franchise. Battlestar Galactica. Look at all these tie-ins he did for everything. Modern Arthur, of course. Those were fun. But what he did really, that was a lot of fun. And this is what I always say: you gotta, like, when you look into people and how good they are, and you really love their work, check out these guys' independent work, their creator-owned stuff, because it matters. Like, this is the only spot these guys have a real shot to make money, because they get to actually keep the profits for what goes on. So I've checked out a bunch of his creator-owned work, and I can recommend a couple good series here if you can find them, because a lot of the stuff's out of print. Fallen Angel is fantastic, and what happened was his Supergirl run had a really cool concept. It was really different. It was not like your standard superhero fare, and he kind of just filed the serial numbers off and like did it himself with Fallen Angel into a different sort of storyline. And so there are omnibuses of that. They are super, super hard to find, but these are excellent comics with an excellent building storyline and an excellent character that I highly recommend for that. On his novel side, his Sir Apropos of Nothing is a beautiful series as well. Not a ton of books, so it's pretty easy. And here's the thing, is Peter David is very fast reads. So you can read all three of these novels here, and there's a couple extra ones that he did later on also that are excellent to read as well. And so those are two things. Again, like, he created his own stuff. And, it doesn't get a lot of credit for it because, of course, when you're in the corporate writing game, that's about all people pay attention to. And I always advise authors not to go that direction because it's hard to build your own following off of that. Even when you're somebody of Peter David's stature, like, again, a lot of people don't just check out your independent work because they're just there really just because you're on Spider-Man or whatever, right? And so a lot of the Star Trek authors, like I've noticed and I've become friends with, and Star Wars authors I've become friends with, like, they have a hard time getting people buying their books that are not of those properties as well, and it leads to a lot of problems. So I guess the moral of the story of all of this is support independent works, read people's original stuff. The corporate properties don't really pay, and it's just such a tragic tale. So he's only 68 years old. That is it's old. But it is not a spot where you just expect somebody to have this kind of a problem at this level. And so it's really, really tragic news for fans of comics, for fans of books. And like I said, nice guy. Glad to have met him. Glad to have read a lot of his work. And I hope his legacy can continue on. I hope a lot of people will check out his independent works because of this. All right, leave a comment down below. What do you think about Peter David? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to connect with you. And make sure to connect via my newsletter as well. I'm probably going to send out a newsletter about this too because he was such an influence. I just want to talk about him all day. And God bless his family. And we'll be back soon.